the edge of Long Island, in Montauk Town, New York, a secret experiment unfolded. The kind of secret that could shape the course of history, the kind that could bend the rules of time and reality itself. Montauk was always a strange place, a place where the ocean meets the land, where the wind seems to whisper ancient secrets through the trees, and where, for reasons unclear, many people had a feeling that something bigger was happening beneath the surface. But what most people didn't know, what no one could have ever imagined, was that this seemingly peaceful town was the setting of a series of mind-boggling experiments that would defy logic and stretch the boundaries of science and reality itself. This is the story of the Montauk Project, a tale of time travel, mind control, and government secrets that would not only change the course of history, but also defy everything we think we know about the nature of reality. It's a mystery that continues to captivate and intrigue, even decades later.
So, welcome to Mysteries with Minnie. Let's dive in.
The story of the Montauk Project begins with a little-known military installation called Camp Hero. Camp Hero, situated in the remote tip of Long Island, had once served as a radar station during World War II. But after the war, it was supposedly abandoned by the military, at least on the surface. The U.S. government was known for its secrecy, and rumors started to swirl about the true purpose of this base. What was really happening behind the thick concrete walls of Camp Hero? What experiments were being conducted beneath the guise of national security? In the 1980s, the first whispers about the Montauk Project began to surface. It was said that a new, highly classified operation had begun at Camp Hero, one that involved a variety of bizarre and dangerous experiments. The idea that a military base known for its radar research could be linked to something much more sinister caught the attention of conspiracy theorists everywhere. The first real breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a man named Preston Nichols. Preston Nichols claimed to have been a former scientist who had worked on the Montauk Project. He wasn't just any scientist, though. Nichols alleged that his memories of the project had been erased by a technique known as mind wiping. According to Nichols, the government had developed a technology that could manipulate human memories, erasing or altering them to suit the needs of the project. It wasn't until years later, after being exposed to certain triggers, that Nichols began to remember his involvement in the project. In his book, The Montauk Project: Experiments in Time, Nichols detailed what he claimed to have experienced during his time at Camp Hero. He explained that the Montauk Project wasn't just about radar or defense systems. It was about much darker, more far-reaching experiments. Time travel, mind control, and psychological manipulation were all on the table. According to Nichols, the project was divided into two main areas: psychotronic experiments, which focused on mind control and telepathy, and time travel. It was said that the government wanted to create the perfect soldier, someone who could be controlled mentally and used as an instrument of war. To achieve this, they used a variety of techniques, including using electromagnetic fields and advanced technology to manipulate the brain. Some even claimed that these experiments were connected to the CIA's MK-Ultra program, a real-life covert operation that attempted to develop mind control techniques using drugs, hypnosis, and other methods. The centerpiece of the Montauk Project was allegedly an experimental device known as the Montauk Chair. According to Nichols and other whistleblowers, this chair was no ordinary piece of furniture. It was a high-tech device designed to interface with the human mind. It could supposedly amplify psychic abilities and even allow people to travel through time. The Montauk Chair was rumored to work by tapping into the brain's electrical frequencies, creating a direct connection between the user's mind and the electromagnetic field. Once connected, the user could manipulate the fabric of space and time itself. Some witnesses claimed that they could travel to different points in history, witnessing historical events firsthand. Others said they were able to see glimpses of alternate realities, parallel universes where history had unfolded differently. One of the most chilling aspects of the Montauk Chair was its supposed ability to open rifts in time, allowing individuals to create alternate versions of reality. The chair was claimed to be able to edit history by sending individuals back in time to alter key events. But the deeper the experiments went, the more dangerous the consequences became. The most disturbing claim was that the chair could also be used to open portals to other dimensions. Some of those who claimed to have used the chair reported that they encountered bizarre alien-like beings or found themselves in strange, unfamiliar landscapes. The boundaries of reality began to blur, and the more the scientists pushed the limits of their research, the more chaotic and uncontrollable the results became. Perhaps the most controversial and tragic aspect of the Montauk Project was the alleged use of children in the experiments. These children, sometimes referred to as the Montauk Boys, were reportedly abducted or recruited to serve as subjects for various psychological experiments. The aim was to create individuals with extraordinary mental abilities, children who could control objects with their minds, see into the future, or even manipulate the thoughts of others. Many of these children were reportedly subjected to years of abuse and experimentation, including forced exposure to electromagnetic fields and other mind-altering technologies. Some survivors of the program later came forward with stories of intense trauma, claiming they had been used as guinea pigs for the government's twisted experiments. One particularly harrowing tale was that of a boy named John, who later became a prominent whistleblower. He claimed that he was taken from an orphanage and brought to Camp Hero, where he was subjected to horrific tests involving the Montauk Chair. According to John, his mind was pushed to its breaking point, and he was forced to travel through time and even interact with alternate versions of himself. These children, many of whom suffered severe psychological damage, were said to have been used as tools in a larger plan, one that sought to create psychic warriors capable of bending reality to their will. As the 1980s drew to a close, the Montauk Project supposedly reached its peak. It was said that the scientists working on the project were able to open a gateway to another dimension, an event that some described as a disastrous failure. A final experiment, according to the accounts, involved the use of the Montauk Chair to open a portal to another world. But something went terribly wrong. The energies unleashed during the experiment were too powerful to control, and the portal collapsed, causing a series of violent disruptions. Some witnesses claimed that the project's entire staff was wiped out in an instant, while others say the government quickly shut down the facility and covered up the events. To this day, many conspiracy theorists argue that the Montauk Project wasn't a failure at all. Instead, they believe that the government is still conducting secret experiments trying to unlock the potential of human consciousness and time manipulation. Some even claim that Montauk is merely a starting point, and that other projects similar to it are operating in hidden locations around the world, continuing the work that was begun decades ago. In the years following the alleged end of the Montauk Project, the government has denied any involvement in such experiments. They claim that Camp Hero was simply a decommissioned radar station, and that the stories of time travel, mind control, and interdimensional portals are just the ramblings of conspiracy theorists. But despite the official denials, the legend of the Montauk Project persists. Books have been written, documentaries have been filmed, and the mystery continues to captivate the imaginations of people around the world. The Montauk Project continues to inspire not only theorists, but a whole subculture of individuals obsessed with uncovering the truth. Some believe that Montauk was only a small piece in a larger puzzle of secret government operations. There are claims that other similar projects, even more advanced than Montauk, exist in underground bunkers and abandoned military bases, continuing where Montauk left off. Some say that time travel, teleportation, and interdimensional exploration are still being tested today, with the government hiding this knowledge from the public. They claim that certain time windows are deliberately closed and that certain individuals may still hold the keys to unlocking the power of time. Whether or not the Montauk Project was real and to what extent the stories are true remains an open question. But one thing is clear: the tale of Montauk, of time travel, mind control, and government secrets will not be easily forgotten. It's a story that keeps growing, fueled by the strange and unsettling allure of what could be lurking just beneath the surface of our reality. As the wind howls through the quiet streets of Montauk, the town remains as it always was, a place of mystery, a place of secrets. And the questions linger, floating in the air like whispers. What really happened at Camp Hero? What did they discover there? And more importantly, what are they still hiding? Over the years, several individuals have come forward claiming to have been directly involved in the Montauk Project. These whistleblowers, like Preston Nichols and others, have given chilling accounts of the experiments and the horrors they witnessed. Their stories, though difficult to verify, have added to the ever-growing mystery. One of the earliest and most well-known whistleblowers was Bielek. Like Nichols, Bielek claimed that he had been a part of the Montauk Project, although his story was far more controversial. Bielek's most shocking claim was that he had been part of a government experiment involving time travel, known as the Philadelphia Experiment. According to Bielek, the experiment was meant to make naval ships invisible to radar, but something went wrong, resulting in disastrous side effects, including the alleged ability to travel through time. Bielek's testimony further complicated the Montauk Project narrative. He claimed that he had experienced life in alternate timelines and that his memories were manipulated to prevent him from recalling certain events. His story resonated with many, despite the fact that much of what he described seemed to border on science fiction. His claims, though far-fetched, added a layer of intrigue to the Montauk Project's growing reputation. Another whistleblower, Duncan Cameron, is said to have been a psychic and one of the children used in the experiments. Cameron's accounts of his time at Camp Hero mirrored those of the Montauk Boys, claiming that he had been forced to participate in the experiments and that his mind had been manipulated to perform unnatural feats. According to Cameron, the Montauk Project involved more than just scientific research. It was an effort to harness and control the psychic potential of the human mind. The whistleblowers who came forward with these stories often faced ridicule and skepticism. Some even claimed that their experiences were deliberately erased or altered by the very government agencies they were trying to expose. Their accounts, though fragmented and sometimes contradictory, formed the foundation for the Montauk Project legend. It was their voices that helped turn the conspiracy from a rumor into something many felt compelled to believe. The truth, if it could be called that, behind the Montauk Project seemed to have inspired more than just conspiracy theorists and researchers. The project, with its mysterious experiments in time travel, mind control, and paranormal abilities, found its way into pop culture. And nowhere was its influence more evident than in the popular Netflix series Stranger Things. It wasn't until 2016, when Stranger Things first hit the streaming platform, that the public's interest in the Montauk Project and its eerie connection to the show grew exponentially. The series, created by the Duffer Brothers, centers around a group of kids in the small town of Hawkins, Indiana, who uncover a government experiment that opens up the gateway to a terrifying parallel dimension known as the Upside Down. The show's main antagonist, a creature known as the Demogorgon, emerges from this dimension, and the children are forced to battle terrifying forces they don't fully understand. At the heart of the show is the story of Eleven, a young girl with extraordinary psychic abilities who has been subjected to cruel experiments by a shady government agency known as the Hawkins National Laboratory. Eleven, like the children allegedly used in the Montauk Project, was subjected to experiments designed to unlock the potential of the human mind. Experiments that went horribly wrong. Just as the Montauk Boys were believed to have been taken for psychological experimentation, Eleven's story echoes the sinister undertones of the Montauk Project. But the connection doesn't stop there. Originally, Stranger Things was going to be set in Montauk, but for various reasons, including difficulties with filming in the small town, the location was changed to Hawkins. The original title for the show was even called Montauk for a time, and the storyline bore a striking resemblance to the stories circulating about the Montauk Project. From the ominous, secretive government lab to the bizarre psychic powers of the children, Stranger Things draws unmistakable inspiration from the urban legends surrounding Montauk. It became clear that the show was not only a thrilling supernatural drama, but also a modern retelling of the very stories that emerged from the conspiracy theories surrounding the Montauk Project. The influence of Montauk's dark history on Stranger Things helped breathe new life into the legend, bringing it to the forefront of a new generation of viewers. But many who had heard of Montauk before the show aired couldn't help but wonder, was Stranger Things more than just a fictional tale? Was it possible that the show had some roots in actual events? As the years went on, the mystery of the Montauk Project remained firmly rooted in the realm of speculation. For some, the whistleblowers were simply disillusioned individuals seeking attention, while others believed their stories held a dark truth hidden from the public eye. The Montauk Project was never officially acknowledged by the government, and the once secret Camp Hero radar station was eventually turned into a public park. But the lingering questions remained. What really happened behind those walls? What kind of experiments took place at Camp Hero? And what were the true intentions of those in charge? A legacy of Montauk lies in the intersection between fact and fiction. It represents a dark chapter in history that may never fully be uncovered. Even now, some conspiracy theorists claim that the government continues to work on similar projects, using new technology to control and manipulate human consciousness. In a world where science fiction has often become science fact, it's hard to dismiss the idea that something like the Montauk Project could have been real. In the end, the Montauk Project serves as a reminder of the dangers of unchecked power, the fragility of human minds, and the endless possibilities of scientific discovery, and perhaps scientific misuse. The combination of time travel, psychic warfare, and government secrecy has left a scar on the public imagination, one that continues to fester. The whispers of Montauk may never be fully silenced, and as long as there are those who believe in the untold truths hidden in shadowy corners, the legend will persist. Whether or not the experiments at Montauk ever occurred as described, or if they were simply the fabrications of a few troubled minds, the story serves as a haunting reminder. Some mysteries are too dangerous to solve, and some doors are best left closed. As the echoes of those who claim to have witnessed the truth continue to reverberate through the years, the question remains: What happened at Montauk? And will we ever truly know? For now, the truth is still out there, lingering in the dark corners of forgotten government projects and behind the walls of Camp Hero, where the wind still whispers. Thanks for hanging out with me today. There are so many mysteries out there, some waiting to be solved, others just waiting to be told. I'll be here, following the clues. Don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe to discover mysteries together. Until next time, stay curious.